gonna come around here and get in my head like I ain't a grown man that hadn't raised children and try and tell me what I'm doing is wrong? Go back and sit your ass down there in the kitchen and cook and fry some fish. Oh, my life, I'll be waiting for you. No, how you do. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NayRob on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Pause. Again, you paying members are the reason why I'm still here. Now, listen, when you got large YouTubers like Adam22, even though I think it might be strategic, but large YouTubers like Adam22 saying, hey, we're broke. YouTube ain't YouTubing no more. It be the paid memberships that make all the difference for us. Trust me. You guys are the reason why I sing. My subbies, I appreciate you too. Just you coming through, hitting that like button means a lot also. But financially, in this economy, I appreciate you all so much for continuing to believe in our book club by contributing your $5 a month. Now, let's continue reading. Mavis Staples. By 1965, the Staples Singers ruled the North American gospel circuit. Ebony proclaimed them the first family of gospel and stated, with the possible exception of Mahalia Jackson, they are the hottest property in the gospel field today. Pop songwriting was pushing the family beyond the gospel circuit, however. After the anthemic resolve of Freedom Highway, he wrote the plaintive Why Am I Treated So Bad? His long simmering ode to the Little Rock Nine, a group of black students who were physically barred from entering the racially segregated Little Rock Central High School in 1957. Even though the Supreme Court had ruled 3 years earlier that segregated schools were unconstitutional. Pops was sitting in his recliner watching the news on TV, and as those kids walked up to enter the school, National Guardsmen told them to turn around, Mavis says. And Pop says, why would he do that? Why are they treated so bad? And he wrote that song that night. The song insinuates rather than shouts, and is all the more powerful because of it. Martin Luther King also was embroiled by why am I treated so bad? Stape, King would say nearly every time he saw Pops, you gonna play my song tonight? Just as they did in the late 50s with Reverend C.L. Franklin, the Staples would perform 2 or 3 songs whenever they appeared with King at a rally in a church or auditorium, essentially serving as his opening act. They now had a trove of tropical songs that would amplify whatever topic King wanted to address. Pops became increasingly determined to spread the minister's message to audience both in and outside the black church. The notion of a black entertainer speaking his mind about racial equality in the mid-60s was not necessarily novel, but it certainly wasn't without risk. Roebuck wrote some marvelous songs, and a song like Why Am I Treated So Bad is quite a progressive lyric for its day. Hellebuck says, it was a very bold move at the time. Not everyone saw it that way. As the Staples moved into the clubs and coffee houses of the folk scene, the group was accused of selling out and abandoning gospel, much in the way Sam Cooke was. I know you fucking lying. Why? It's not like they singing Do It Again yet. Sometimes the rain. That's when I fell in love with her. Okay, pause. My mother, because she was a young mother, she took me on dates with her because my grandmother would be like, oh no, you can't have a good time and I stay at home watching your baby. While you at work, I stay at home and watching your baby. But while you going out on date, take Nay with you. So a lot of times when my mom went on dates, I went with her. I remember seeing so many movies with her. Well, two in particular. Let's Do It Again and Car Wash. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we saw Uptown Saturday Night together. I'm not sure, but I know we saw Let's Do It Again, okay, while my mom was on a date with somebody, okay? And I'm woke. I'm there. Why the fuck I ain't sleep? Because it was always at a 12 o'clock show, a midnight show. Yeah, even when I was young and we went out, you could never go to a show early. You had to go like at the midnight show. I don't know why. But at any rate, when I heard that song, Let's Do It Again, baby, I don't know how old I was, maybe 5'4", but that shit moved me. Sometimes the rain. I don't even know, I didn't even know what it meant. But it was just the movement of the song, the fluctuation of her raspy voice that drew me in. But anyway, taking it back to what I'm saying, it wasn't like Pops was singing songs like Let's Do It Again yet. He's singing things that would inspire blacks. That's why I be like, them church folks, you people get on my nerves sometimes. Y'all be looking for a reason to be judgmental. Not everyone saw it that way. As the Staples moved into the clubs and coffee houses of the folk scene, the group was accused of selling out and abandoning gospel, much in the way Sam Cooke once was. When we started singing songs like Blowing in the Wind, one of the Dixie Hummingbirds, Mr. Davis, group founder James B. Davis, told Pop, Stape, you're straddling the fence, aren't you? Mavis recalls. Critic Barney Hoskins wrote that the group's transition to folk and rock was accomplished by Uncle Tomming for the Flower Children. Oh, I know they fucking did. Thank you to the Pop Staples that he wasn't no sucker. You gonna come around here and get in my head like I ain't a grown man that hadn't raised children? You gonna come around here and try and tell me what I'm doing is wrong? Go back and sit your ass down there in the kitchen and cook and fry some fish. Even Cleotha, the child most in step with Pop's thinking on almost any subject, had her misgivings. The gospel community started putting us down, she said in a 1976 interview. They felt we weren't in the church anymore, and I must have been the biggest holdback when we were making the transition from all gospel to the non-gospel entertainment circuit. I said, Daddy, I don't think we should change. I think we should stay in gospel. But Pop said, Boo, I think you should be a little more open-minded about this. It's a tremendous chance for us to give a message. Now, Dr. King is saying it. We can sing it. What's wrong with that? The music we were then singing had a little too much beat for gospel. And I thought that was wrong. Mavis, Purvis, and Daddy were ready, but somewhere I was lagging behind. Jerry Butler, who had embraced R&B before he established a career in gospel, says he never thought the Staples turned their back on their principles or beliefs. Pops Staples was adamant about not doing rhythm and blues songs, even though some assumed he crossed the line. He never did. He stayed with gospel and inspirational songs. The Staples' righteous music coincided with Martin Luther King's move north. In January 1966, the minister rented a dingy apartment on the city's west side to more directly oversee a campaign for school desegregation and open housing in Chicago. After his arrival, King set up a meeting with Pops and his family at a restaurant on 87th and Vincennes. I don't know. Y'all know. Chicago people, what is this? Vincennes or Vincennes? He was going to appoint Jesse Jackson, a South Carolina preacher who was attending the Chicago Theology Seminary, to head up Operation Breadbasket. The new economic initiative aimed to persuade and, if necessary, pressure major corporations in Chicago to bring more blacks onto their payrolls. Operation Breadbasket, on the other hand, was a success for King and Jackson. King enlisted the help of radio station WVON and brought program director E. Rodney Jones into the fold. The powerhouse station, Chicago's Voice of the Negro, began airing the weekly Operation Breadbasket broadcast featuring performances by the Staples singers, Operation Breadbasket Choir, and Operation Breadbasket Band, led by saxophonist Ben Branch. After the family's initial success at VJ, Pops was able to break the cycle of slum apartment living to buy a 2-story brown brick 4-flat on 89th Street and Langley at the outset of the 60s. He, Osella, and their younger daughter, Cynthia, lived on the top floor, and Mavis, before she was married, and later Osella's mother, Grandma Ware, shared the first floor space with Yvonne, with tenants renting the other 2 apartments. I know that's fucking right. That's right. Pops get to the money. Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, and Gladys Knight were among their dinner guests. Nancy Wilson would call ahead before she came to town and order her favorite creamed corn, greens, and hot water cornbread. When Red Fox couldn't make it over to the house for dinner, he'd call to ask Mom to send a plate to him backstage at the Regal Theater. Osella sent Pops to personally deliver the meal. Ray Charles became obsessed with Osella's sweet potato pie and joked that he and Mom Staples should open a franchise together. She wouldn't let the singer leave the house without supplying him with an extra pie to take back to his house. He needed an extra pie for all them bees. In 1967, Billy Sherrill produced what would be his last album with the Staples singers at Epic, Pray On.